Welcome back. Recently at a St. Pete Women's Chamber of Commerce event, I heard the statistics stating from 2002 to 2011, the number of artists, performers, and writers in St. Pete increased 40%. That is a dramatic difference. To tell us more about this phenomenal growth is John Collins, the Executive Director of the St. Pete Arts Alliance, and artist Duncan McClellan. Gentlemen, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
It's my pleasure.
St. Pete is just booming with artists. What do you attribute this growth to, John?
Well, to start with, artists moving here, such as Duncan, but we have found that we've created a city of the arts in the last 3 years. We haven't created, we've been marketing and branding it. And I think that the number of people who have moved in, we've seen the rise of our arts districts, not to get ahead of myself, but because of that, people have come in and seen how artists can come into a 600 block, if you will, of Central Ave, and that grows to becoming the Central Arts District. And then as business and as that generates economic development, it grows from there.
Okay, you talk about the arts districts. There are 5 in St. Pete?
Yes, we now have 5 arts districts, although they're not all each named an arts district, but we have termed the wonderful museums along the waterfront. So as the sun comes up on St. Pete, it rises on the Waterfront Arts District, and then you go up Central Ave to the Central Arts District, continues on to a relatively new named district called the Edge, and then off, continuing on down Central Ave into the Grand Central District, which includes a lot of artists there now as well. And then if you take a left, as I said earlier, you end up in the Warehouse Arts District.
Right, and that's where you're at, right, Duncan?
Exactly.
All right, tell us about your artwork. It's amazing.
Well, thank you. For the most part, I'm a glass artist. I work in overlays. It's a team effort in the blowing because they're fairly large-scale vessels that we blow. They're annealed, ground and polished, and then I have a surface to carve. So I often put in different imagery that are relating to my family or maybe a spiritual connection or flora and fauna, whatever type of thing that I want to express. And that's carved into the surface, and that's how I create my work.
And you have classes there, so folks can come learn how to blow glass, correct?
Oh, exactly. We have 3 entities. We call our motto for our gallery is it's more than a gallery, because we have not only the Duncan McClellan Gallery, but which represents about 40 different internationally known artists, mostly in glass, but we do show other sculpture and porcelain works, for an example. But then we have St. Pete Hot Glass Workshop, which is an entity that is a world-class glass blowing facility. And we not only do glass blowing there, but we also do the other disciplines in glass and demonstrate, which leads us to DMG School Project, which is our 501c3, and that's where I'm very excited about that. We go into inner city schools, we've taught at homeless shelters, we just awarded scholarships to Pinellas County school students for a competition. We do scholarships, and we do a lot of outreach that bring students, both at college level and individuals, into the glass process. And we're not really trying to teach glass. We're trying to teach that art teaches problem solving. And if you can get students excited about something, it doesn't really matter what they're excited about. It's the same process.
And that's changing children's lives.
Exactly.
That's a big deal. How is the Art Alliance, how is it involved with all of this? Are you kind of the spearhead to keep everyone together? You help communicate? What do you guys do exactly, John?
Well, I'd like to use the umbrella as the analogy. We're the umbrella organization, and there's room for all of the arts groups underneath our umbrella. And then together, as their fiscal agent, we can apply for grants that support the various groups that they can't apply for individually. We also, we're focusing on fine arts today, but we also, under our umbrella, St. Petersburg certainly becoming known for the music buzz that's going on. You can't argue with that, as well as the performing arts. We have 7 theaters of various stages of development, and we're now seeing actors almost like a repertory company, if you will, in St. Pete at various shows. It's all just barely, coming up, and we hope it grows from there. But what we're trying to do as the Arts Alliance, again, is to be support advocacy, fundraising for the artists, our creative businesses, our nonprofits, and all together they are generating significant income for the area.
What is it about arts? How does arts improve our communities? If you never set foot inside a museum, you're still benefiting as a member of this community from art. Talk about that.
Well, absolutely. And in addition to the economic part, which is really just a small part of it to me, we've shown that every dollar invested in the arts returns another $5 to the community. When you think if you're going out to see Free Fall Theater or American Stage, chances are you're going out to dinner beforehand, you're paying for parking, you're generating funds for the economy and taxes for the city. Just as important is the value of businesses that want to move to a place that is involved in creative placemaking, and we're working on that. So there's a reason that more and more businesses are moving to St. Pete because they want to be part of the arts and cultural scene of that live, play, and work downtown that we have. And then finally, the education side. Arts are a huge part of critical thinking skills, and to be able to and I could go on and on, but I won't speak for the arts and education folks because they do it better than me. But students who study arts in high school do better on their SATs than those who don't. Students who stay involved in after-school programs obviously are going to be more involved in their community and hopefully do better educationally. And so I think if you tie those things together, it's why I live in St. Petersburg, because it's the arts culture that I want to be a part of.
And do you see a continuous growth the next 10 years? Do you think it will continue to explode the way it has?
I hope so. I think so. I think we've made the case. We've set the benchmarks. We've done our studies that show the value that the arts are bringing economically and hopefully for quality of life and education. But we need support. We need city support. We need county support. We need to say we have built this wonderful umbrella. We have built this wonderful city of the arts, and we now need to do everything we can to shore up the foundation to support that, so that as more people, young retirees who are discovering the artist in them, whether it's performing arts or fine arts, have the city and state and county resources to support that.
Awesome. Thank you both for being here, Duncan and John. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
I really
what you're doing in
appreciate it,
St. Pete. Well, when we come back, we're going to speak with a curator who's bringing a one-of-a-kind Poseidon adventure to the city of Tampa. Stay with us.